What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today we're going to cover the Hori production model. Jim, didn't we just see this tank not too long ago on your channel? Almost. That was the prototype version. This is the production model. This is what Japan would have used. The prototype failed to meet the requirements that Japan's leaders had issued for the manufacturers. They needed more armor and a better gun, and that's exactly what they got with this thing. This is a monster of a tank. This is not a premium, so you have to unlock this the old-fashioned way, and I highly recommend doing so. This is some highlights of my very first battle with the prototype, or excuse me, the production, god darn it. And we find a nice little train of tanks coming here along the flanks. I take out the easiest kill, which is the King Tiger, who had his turret faced to the side. IS-3 bounces on my vehicle, so I immediately go for the obvious location, which is just under the gun. Trap shot, beautiful. And just move on to the next little group here. let's just go murder these people. This tank is an absolute beast, I kid you not. The IS-6 is on fire, so I focus my attention on the Panther II. It's reversing, put a shot into the side of his turret, take out his cannon breech and his transmission, so not only can he not fire, but he also can't run away to repair, so he just bails out. That's probably the best thing he could have done at that point. And speaking of which, this battle would not go quite as I anticipated. I had a really good start, getting 3 quick kills, but the end would come because of a lack of fire protection. As I said, the very first battle, I've actually been doing some testing with some other vehicles to see which vehicles are manageable, are usable without fire protection, without parts. I don't feel that the Hori production is one of them. The Object 268 can be usable, and I will be doing a review on that soon. But the Hori production it's rough without any sort of even parts because of the lower front plate, which is a big weakness. And I get taken out by a Gag Panther, who I suspect is respawned. But it's on to the next battle, and we find ourselves on Berlin. Triple cap domination, up tiered to 7.7. We got leopards on my team, and it won't take long for the enemy team to get all 3 caps. Watch how quickly this battle just becomes out of hand, in my opinion. We got a lot of campers on our team, and I'm gonna try to flank around to get anything that comes around this side, because there's always someone here. Gotta get around this corner quickly, otherwise you'll get blown up because of the return to battlefield thing.
The enemy has most of the strategic zones.
I think that's only happened to me once ever, and it was because I got damaged and I couldn't move. Got an IS-6 sitting here. He's got his side to me, but just an awkward angle, and very few rounds would have been able to pen that. So that's just a bad shot. Should have waited for him to turn or shot his cupola. So I used the camera to pan around to see what's there. As he's got at least 2 allies with him, and my idiot leopard ally goes out there and gets himself killed. So I go for the disabling shot on the IS-6, take out his gun barrel and his breech all in one shot. But I know that he's not a threat to me anymore. And foolishly, he just sits there. Second shot gets eaten up in the mantlet. Third shot, however, will go clean through and take out the vehicle. This is one of the benefits of the recent IS-6 nerf, but it's also it has to do with the power of this gun. And Vickers MPT just bounced. You done screwed with the wrong tank, buddy. Because you don't have any armor. Oh, can't say the same about this. This thing is an absolute beast. Get an IS-3, bounce that one, and oh, just missed trap shot. And I hear something behind me. This isn't good. We lost all 3 caps, and there's something behind me. Great. I can't turn around and go after whatever's behind me because I don't want to give this guy a shot to my back. So I take a kind of an odd angle shot at the IS-3 and blow up his ammo with the odd little shot trap there, and there he is. T-44-100. Let's see if we can maneuver around.
Attention to the designated grid zone.
Nope. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. I don't think he has a breach, boys. I think he's running for his life. One of the limitations that this Hori has is that it has no no neutral gear turning, so you are really limited with your mobility in a turn. This guy bounces. Object 906 just bounced on me. I thought I cleared everything, but there was actually a Centurion Mark 10 back there somewhere, hiding in the rubble pile. So pull forward, repair everything, and this will give me an opportunity to talk a little bit about the mobility issue. In a neutral steer vehicle, one track goes forward, one goes backwards, like in the Tiger H1. It's an awesome piece of technology. However, without it, this vehicle is really limited, because what will happen is if you hold down one of your turning key, if you hold down one of your keys to turn, one track will just stay stationary and one will move. The problem I run into with this vehicle, as well as many others, is that one track will sometimes, depending on the terrain or the speed at which it had it earlier, is it will just sit there and spin. You won't have any traction on the dirt. And so in that turn against the T44-100, I had to engage both tracks in a forward motion in order to get enough grip on the dirt in order to move. There have been a number of times where I just was stuck with just my track spinning. I don't know if this is a bug within War Thunder or if this is, you know, intentional, but it's something you have to be careful of when you have a vehicle as big and as heavy as this, and you don't have neutral gear steering or turning, whatever term you prefer. Now, a quick look at the mini-map shows that we've actually managed to get things back under control to some extent. We got C under our control. We're getting B, but it's SPA that we're relying on in order to acquire B, and that's kind of a move of desperation. You know, when you're relying on AAA, which is SPA, to capture a base that's protected, especially since they have an Object 120 that's in the back of their map that's camping and getting all kinds of kills. Thankfully, I happened to see that Vickers pop up. Just get a nice clean shot on him. We got B. This guy's engaging somebody here just on the other side of the wall, I believe. So I realized that now is a good opportunity to push these guys and keep reinforcements from coming out. You can call this spawn camping, you can call this spawn pushing, call it whatever you like, I don't care. This is in my opinion, a bad map design, because you could drive 30 yards out of your spawn and successfully snipe all across the map. When you can do that, you got an issue of map design. And so, call it whatever you want, I don't really care, it's not a map I like. Got ASU-85 taken out, and a whole bunch of guys just everywhere, just waiting for them to peek out enough for me to see. What you're going to see is a lot of IS-6s on their team. Problem with an IS-6 is there are very few spots on the front of it that you can pen. I didn't intend to hit him there. I actually tried to shoot him on the side in between his tracks. But this round is so fast, believe it or not, that it can actually be an issue. There's an Object 120 that I finally noticed. He's the one that's been sniping from the back of his map in his own spawn. The IS-6 fires, misses. I considered going for the turret, just the right side of the mantlet, but instead I see that he's backing up at an odd angle, so I just go for the lower half of his side. It's an easy shot to hit. Losing B once again. You just can't seem to hold it, and we're gonna see a lot of people flood there from the enemy spawn here. Another tank pops in, IS-6, all covered in bushes. Really make out what he is. PT-76 rolls by. Of course, I'm not reloaded in time. Bounce a couple of machine gun shells, nothing to be concerned with. RE-251 takes him out, thankfully. Come on, guys, get B. I would love for my ally there in the green to get out of that camping spot and go to either A or B, but... Oh, terrible shot. I didn't take the time to aim that. And, yeah. T-44-100 is going to be a little bit of an issue because he's going right at B. He's going straight up the gut, right towards the Bravo cap. And I'm going to go have to deal with him in just a little bit. I'm hoping that my guys will be able to take him out before he gets there. If the IS-6 once again shows up. That time I try to get his gun barrel. If I can take out his gun barrel, it'll be a lot easier to kill. Instead, he just fires into the dirt right in front of me. Thinking, well, this will be it for him. There we go. One shot. Gotta love that nerf on the IS-6 turret. And anything else? T-44 just took out the Panther 2. Boy, this is one of those moments where you're constantly debating: do I go for the Bravo cap, or do I continue to sit here and deny them reinforcements? It's not an obvious answer, but I'm looking at the tickets and I'm thinking, you know, I've still got time. I can still get to B. Hopefully my green guy will get out of this, basically out of the spawn. The southern half of the map is just as bad as the northern half. You know, you got guys. This is one of those maps that promotes camping, and I do not like it. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm alone. I don't know. What do you guys think of this Berlin? Anyway, with the last guy that I saw back there eliminated, I moved towards B. I see the T-44-100, which capped B. I think he was running for C, but either way, he's out of here now. And I decided to push into B. This is the most obvious time to push. Do that while he's respawning and can't be here to protect Bravo. And just as I make my way towards B, my ally points out that I've got someone else near me. However, I don't care. If I don't see them, they don't see me. That's my theory. And as I pull in here, I realize just how awfully close this was. He's literally right in front of me. Like, how did you not see me? This thing is the size of a freaking bus. How did you not see me? So now what are you gonna do? You're gonna push me, you're gonna flank me. Flank me, and thank you, Panther. Thank you. With the bad mobility of this thing, in a turning perspective, I may not have been able to swing around him and defend myself. The mobility part is only bad in a turn. If you're driving straight, this thing is incredibly fast.
Most of the strategic zones are captured.
So it can't be. A Panther rolls in here. I don't know if you noticed, this is a new feature. They now have a little icon above a tank that displays when he's replacing crew members. This is a really helpful icon, as it tells you when people are replacing crew and therefore are essentially helpless. If you see someone doing that, offer some assistance. If you see an enemy tank approaching, try to give him a hand while he's in that state for, was it like 15-20 seconds, something like that. So when the smoke clears, I decide to roll out of the B cap and see what I can find, and sure enough, they've sent a T-44 to Bravo to recap and denied. That's kill number 13 on this battle. 13-0. That would be the last vehicle I would see. Technically I would see an IS-2 roll around in the back of the map, but I would never be able to get a clean shot on him. He would get taken out. And that would be at the end of the battle for us. 13 kills, no deaths, 1 cap, no assists, and still we lose second place to a guy who played in the air for half the battle. Yeah, that makes sense. What is up with the scoring system in this game? Now that we're in the hangar, let's take a look at how the armor stacks up on the whole reproduction versus the prototype that we reviewed recently. The hull is comprised of 120 millimeters of armor, and that wraps all the way down here to the lower front plate. The upper portion of the tank, also known as the superstructure, is 200 millimeters on the outside and 225 on this inner portion here. Now, the prototype had 120 on the outside and 150 on this part, so that was a significant upgrade. Now, as far as where to pen it, it's going to depend on your type of ammo. If all you have is APCBC, the lower front plate is probably the most reliable place to attack. If you have a really high pen and you're close, you can pen this with, say, a Panther 2. APCR will certainly help if you're in a Panther 2 or a Tiger 2. But when I try to drive this, I try to angle it as best I can. If at all possible, hide the lower plate. And so the more obvious angle, or the most obvious spot to pen, is right here. I've only encountered this once. It was a T-54 driver who penned that very intelligently and crippled me. Thankfully, I had a teammate who helped me out. If you aim here, you'll be able to really do some damage.
We've captured most of the strategic zones.
Attention to the map!
Most of the strategic zones are captured.
Gramercy!
Now is probably as good a time as any to talk about the gun
We've
itself.
captured most of the strategic
The
zones.
105mm was a really good gun with the the prototype version, but the Japanese leadership weren't very satisfied with it. They wanted something a little bit better. After all, they were worried about the possible land invasion with M6 heavy tanks as well as M26 Pershings. And at the time, Japan really lacked tanks, good tanks with powerful guns. The 105 was a really needed weapon for them. However, they just wouldn't be able to produce enough vehicles. It's my understanding that the only 5 Horis were actually completed by the end of the war. While the 105 was an important gun and a needed gun, they were only able to produce a limited number of them, and along with that, a limited supply of ammunition. The United States just continued carpet bombing Japan. The factories weren't able to stay open. They weren't able to produce enough tanks. And in the end, it really boiled down to American air superiority and some really controversial dropping of bombs. Let's just say. Now, within War Thunder, the gun operates just beautifully. I very rarely bounce shots. When I do, it's because I hit some awkward angle, usually on Soviet tanks like the IS-3, the IS-6, the IS-4 even. It's very good at close quarters and even in sniping roles, as you'll see in this video. And keep in mind, I don't have all of the upgrades, so this hill that I'm on is creating a bit of an issue. Without adjustment of fire unlocked, it's not able to compensate for the slope that I'm on. You'll see in a minute that my tank is on a really ugly looking slope that is causing my shots to veer to the right. And I swore that shot was perfect, but it was just a tad high. Make a slight adjustment, and I don't adjust for the height quite enough. Lower just a little bit more. Perfect. A 2+ kilometer kill. I'll take that any day. This match would end up with another ace match, actually. As I finish off this STRV-81, who has managed to flank our team, along with a couple of buddies. He had a T-44-100 there that was with him. Thankfully, he didn't flank me as well. I was able to get it here just in time. Let's wrap up this video with the interesting, fun little engagement actually with the IS-4. This is probably the most intimidating tank that I've encountered so far. The IS-3, the IS-6, they're all good tanks. The IS-4 is another good tank. On the left side, you'll see the comparison between the Hori prototype and the production version. The production version definitely has more pen and has a slightly faster velocity. You see, I try to hit that spot just below the turret ring, but I aim just a hair bit high. He mostly uses his machine guns. I expect him to flank to the right,
Reloading.
but no, he's going back left. Alright? Using his machine guns to blind me, then I take out his gun barrel. This is how I recommend taking out the IS-3, the IS-4M, and the IS-6 if you can. If you take out their gun barrel, they're pretty much useless. They have to repair. They're unable to do anything. Another way, also take out their tracks, or in this case, take out his tracks and his driver, so he's completely useless.
Strategic zones are captured.
And he just gives up. Without Heat FS or any sort of specialty round, there's only so much you can do against some of these really heavily armored tanks. But so far I've done pretty well. I'm averaging roughly 2.8 kills a game. That's pretty darn good considering the level of competition you're going up against. I am almost every match I'm going up against 7.7 or even 8.0 tanks. And that can be a struggle, I'm not gonna lie. There are some awfully good tanks at that VR range. But this tank is quite capable of dealing with those vehicles. Disable tracks, disable gun, angle your tank, and you're golden. Pretty simple rules to live by with the whole prototype and production as well. Anyway guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care guys.